What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Novichenko Whips YouTube channel. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Today is the 30th, so we're almost at the new year. Hopefully everyone's had a good 2024 and that you'll have an awesome 2025, especially in terms of cars and enjoying your toys. So this video is going to be mostly about fixing the small air leak, evap leak I had in my car, as well as some emblems and stuff, you know, kind of debadging and blacking out some badges. And then hopefully I can get you a couple driving clips, which are always most fun for myself to rip around on the back roads. The car now does have winter tire setup, and so it feels super grippy with these Michelins. And so we didn't get any snow yet. I'm still waiting for the snow up here in the Pacific Northwest. Maybe I'll go have to find some in the mountains. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. And again, thanks for subscribing. If you haven't, more than welcome to subscribe. We're going to have a lot more X5M content, M5 content, AMG content, Subaru content, truck content, everything hopefully that would be of interest to you to watch, and hopefully entertaining. And sprinkled with some dad humor, at least of my flavor of it. And yeah, let's keep modifying this thing because I want to start pushing more power, because to be honest, stock, I think it needs a little more oomph. I'm used to modified, you know, louder, quicker. So let's get to it. All right, happy new day, everybody. I took off the intake again because we finally got all of our PCV hoses. It's a total of pretty much 5. Here's the actual PCV for one side, the other side, and then there's 2 hoses that go to the crank cases, or like the valve covers on both sides, and then there's 1 hose in between the 2 that goes across the top. So we're gonna go pull off all the old ones. So like this one, the accordion style, this thing, that thing. We're gonna take our sweet time. Something I noticed, it's kind of weird to me. Like, why is this boot so floosy? I know there's a bolt holding it into the turbo. You see that one right there? But I don't think it's supposed to be like this. Like, your turbo's probably sucking in unmetered air. This one's a little tighter. Again, don't know if that's happened over time or if someone's replaced a PCV before and not tightened it. Like, it's pretty important. And of course, we're gonna go over all the vacuum lines. So a bunch of these lines go into these little things. The actual vacuum pump is on the back of this head. So it goes down there. So once everything cools off nicely, I'll inspect everything. We'll also put in our new intake filters, the sporty ones that arrived. And what else do I have? We're gonna test fit our catch cans. I want to do 2 split catch cans. They're cheap enough to where you can just do 2. Here we are. So I found out what was making the whistle noises. Check this out. What a beautiful instrument. The factory one broke apart right in the smack dab middle. Of course, this is a super hot area. I'll see if I can insulate this new one somehow. Put some kind of deflective tape on it. But I believe that was the main one making whistle noises. I got PCVs. I should have probably triple checked on those, because these are the exact BMW part numbers for the other crankcase hoses, but Amazon told me this would fit, and of course it doesn't. It's missing one connection, which is for that centerpiece. So I'm going to order new PCVs. My plan is to take off this connection, route it to a catch can, and then into the intake, and the same thing here. Take off this connection, route it to a catch can, and then into the intake, because here's a quick view of this intake. And so you can see the turbo does have some oil residue in there, and that's all coming from the PCV 100%. Of course, from factory, they want all that oil to burn off, but that's just ruining your octane rating. And if you're going for performance, that's not going to work. Anyway, I'm going to pull off this boot, do a bunch of cleaning. We're going to order the correct PCVs. Meanwhile, I don't want to pull them off because I don't want to break these and cause worse vacuum leaks. So these on the sides that I also ordered, they go from down here all the way down there, near impossible to reach. You have to like fish it down in there. These are nice and soft still. Let's verify this one. Yeah, super soft. This one was very brittle. So this one's still super soft and malleable, probably not an issue. I also went through all the vacuum lines everywhere. Everything is in place. I presume you may have seen in my last video, it looked like my app, the OBD2 connector and the app were reporting low boost, but I read on forums online that other people said for some reason their generic apps were not reporting full boost. The only way to really tell is to, in some interesting way, tap into the pressurized system off the turbos and figure that out. But what I do want to do is do a quick smoke test. So I bought a smoke machine. So we can definitely do a smoke test, make sure nothing big is smoking elsewhere. I'm pretty sure we're good. Fairly new engine. I have a couple other cars that I need a smoke test on because they're actively throwing me codes. But let's install this piece. I'm gonna insulate it. You could probably use some kind of aluminum or wool. They sell this fancier, newer heat wrap stuff. I plan to do it for the downpipes when I get them, because the old school itchy stuff, it's just not as great. It really absorbs oil and it burns. But there's this kind of, usually people use gold tape. I bought black because I've used it on other projects and it helps with intake temps. Maybe this will work. I'll see if I wrap it around. I'll look around and see if I have anything else. I'll check this out. Got a bunch of cool blacked out M emblems. We'll see if we can slap those on the grill and the back of the car. So yeah, let me show you the finished product here in a minute. Here's the end result. So we've kind of reflective tape heat wrapped this. Hopefully, this sits under another engine cover. Hopefully that'll help deflect additional heat away from these connectors. I also heat wrapped the existing other vacuum hose that's there. That one looks plenty healthy. It actually looks like a thicker material, so that's good. Anyway, let's put this in here. Very easy connectors. I might just lube the O-rings a little bit so everything seats very nicely. You may have seen, while I wait, I threw a zip tie on this connector just because I went and felt around it and it looked kind of loose on there. This one, on this end, they're kind of positioned interestingly, but this one seems like it's a little better. This one seemed a little loose, and I think that's where a lot of the residue leaking was from. This side has way less leaking than that side had, and I saw the connection was kind of not tight. But yeah, let's get everything back together. We're gonna do the newer intake filters and move on. I don't have downpipes, but I've been sourcing tools to do the job. For example, special key to undo the O2 sensors. I know it's gonna be a little bit of a pain. Every video I've watched, it's kind of difficult to do the downpipes. It's still easier than in the M5. The M5 has its ECUs sitting and cooking on top of the downpipes, so this is definitely a better setup. The difficulty is down on the sides of the engine, getting to the nuts, especially on driver's side, because that's where the front drive shaft is for the front wheel drive of the X-Drive system. That we're going to have a lot of fun figuring out, but it's worth the stage 2 power, baby. Here's another thing I've done. These cars suffer from the turbo coolant lines leaking at the factory connections, and it's because when you park again, most of the heat is emanating right here. So the air box ends right here, and then from here back you have the second box or cover. So this stuff is always cooking the most, straight above, right? Heat rises. A lot of people recommend taking off that box and driving without it. I kind of don't like the engine noise, you know, the turbo diesel direct injection sound. So I'm going to try to go more of the smarter insulation route. Again, this reflective tape, it works. I've used it, of course, on my Subaru builds for intakes. In this case, it's more of deflecting heat, direct heat that's coming up from the hot turbos when you park. So at the rubber portions, wherever the rubber is, over here, I'm not going to do it because all the heat's back there. Anywhere the connection ends over there, I've wrapped it in this stuff, and then I've wrapped those. I plan to do the same thing on the M5 because I can see a bit of coolant seepage at those places. And sure, they sell kits to replace these, but they're not OEM. They're the more screw style clamps. I kind of like the OEM look. I'd like to keep the OEM living longer. And again, this isn't really visible. This is more like insulation to keep the heat off of things longer, so to speak. I do like OEM look, right? For example, I'm not a huge fan of just tape on something, but this reflective stuff does work. If you're ever interested, you know, you can experiment with it a little bit. On the more exciting note, we've got the BMC air filters. So those look really cool in there. They really resemble like a K&N drop-in filter. Those are supposed to flow way more air. I think the filter material is like this thick compared to the factory super thick paper style. And then also you remember they come with these charcoal filters that you can pop out. You don't really need those in the US. So we should be getting more free-flowing air. I'm probably going to put it back together so I can drive it until I get the correct BMW PCVs. So we'll pick up then. So let's start this thing and see if we have any funny sounds, but should be more or less good. Sounds pretty good. You like that high-pitched injector? Now that ticking. It's like a bunch of sewing machines in there. Precision. Let me show you this. We had someone come over to the house today with a sister X5. I think this is a X535, so it has the N55 in there. Same engine I had in my F30. Technically should be a lot easier to work on. I think similar transmission, maybe the 8-speed. This might be a 13-year car. But yeah, way more room under the hood on that one. No whistles, that's really good. Formerly, when I would cold start the car, I would get a nice... Now it's quieted down. Let me pop the oil cap, see if there's a good vacuum. Yeah, it's pretty good. Nice. Once again, I'm trying to mock up where our oil catch cans will go. I think the best positions or places for them will be one right here and one hidden away somewhere here, so it'll be easy access right here for those two vacuum lines. I'll be able to retain the engine cover. I like the engine cover. Again, it quiets down the engine a slight bit, especially in the cabin. As long as we can think of smart ways to lower under the hood temps, I'd like to retain the cover. I don't know what I think, guys. That emblem for the front still looks too big for me, kind of rice. I wish they didn't make these two holes in the middle of it. I don't know what that's all about, but let me know what you think. I think it's too big. Maybe, just maybe, if I don't like it with the whole X5M thing, I'll figure out a neat way to cut out the M and just paste myself a neat little M emblem. Maybe that'll do. We'll see. Not too fond of it right now. The real newer X5M emblems are extremely expensive online, especially in the blacked out styling. This one was like 15 bucks. It's not bad in terms of just the actual lettering quality. I just don't know if I like how it looks. I don't think I like how it looks. Yeah. If I don't like it, might just keep the little M emblem. That'll look more little low profile, low key. All right, so I've decided to just do, I took the M emblem off of that piece, the bigger plastic piece. What I didn't like about that piece was it was quite thick, and so when you looked at the side profile, it was really bulky on here. But I'm thinking of just doing a little M emblem. Should be a lot more discreet and look pretty good. So let me heat it up with the heat gun and place it on there and see what we're looking at. I actually think it looks pretty good. So it's just a little subtle blacked out M emblem. If you're driving down the road, you spot that and you'll probably know. And then if not, it's not too offsetting or doesn't throw off the look of the car too much. I think the full X5M emblem was way too huge. I think I like it. I'll keep it like this for now. Of course, it can come off if you want to put some heat gun on it and take that off in the future. Here's another cool thing. I have a couple vinyl stickers that I can clean up the brake calipers and slap on the cool little M emblems on the front and back. Still looking on how to black these out. They sell them online, but they're ridiculously expensive. So I know people black these out themselves. I think those are the final chrome pieces on the car, other than the emblems themselves, but you can change those as well. And I have the larger X5M emblem for the back. This old one is really faded, so we're gonna pull that off, install the nice new blacked out one. We'll do that soon. I've slapped on some M vinyl stickers I had, so I cleaned up the rear brakes. It's a black M emblem, so the brakes are already dark, so you can just see mostly the triple stripe. Still looks okay, and they were laying around, so why not slap them on. I know it'll look a lot nicer and bigger on the front brakes, but I'm doing the rears first just to get my practice in at applying them. Is using rubbing alcohol, wiping them down, and then just using my heat gun to kind of warm up the surface area. It's kind of cold outside today, so I want it to adhere nicely. It doesn't have to be blistering hot, but pretty warm. And then I'm just cutting the small size for the rears. I'm going to do the big ones on the front, and we're applying them nicely. Here's what the front looks like. Usually, at least on my M5, I just have the triple lines. I probably could have done that and just cut up this sticker if I wanted, but it looks all right like this as well. Deleting the rear emblem was pretty easy. Just put some heat gun to it. The double-sided tape was not too icky, sticky, and hardened, so it actually got soft again and came off. I see a sly outline, but I can buff it a little bit, and then we're going to apply the new black sticker or new black emblem. The new one's a little smaller. It's not drastically smaller, but it should look really nice. Here's a quick tip. When you're doing stuff like this that needs to be nice and straight, don't get distracted by your kids running around and hollering, because I think I tried to be as precise as I could, and you can tell the right side is slightly higher. Sure, at a 10 foot or driving, someone won't notice, but I definitely can notice. Like, here, let's get closer. A little bit frustrating, but oh well. Maybe I'll order a new one down the road if it frustrates me enough. Don't touch the water. As I was saying, try to avoid distractions if you're trying to get it done the first time. Check out the fresh tint on this thing. We got the top strip done and the front windows. Definitely changes the look of the car already. Maybe, just maybe, my motivation to start looking for a BMW SUV was my neighbor's super cool newer X3M. Size-wise, I think this compares to the X5M we got. So, I don't know. These are super cool though. They come with the new S54 engine. No, wait. B57 and S57 engines, which are pretty sweet.